Hi there. I am Kelley Pitts, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since 2005. So glad you've joined me this evening. I'm a little late getting on, had a little technical difficulty there. And sorry I'm not showing my face yet, but I just had knee surgery, as most of y'all know. Had my knee replaced, and so I am just gonna make some cards with you tonight and not worry about all the little switcheroo on the camera stuff. So hope that works for you. And several of you signed up for the Festive and Bright class that I'm holding, and we're going to go ahead and make some of those cards tonight, the easy ones from the Peaceful Prints Designer Series paper. And I'm excited about that. I'm really thrilled y'all are here with me. I'm gonna get my little iPad set up so I can see if y'all are making any comments here. Let's see if I'm gonna refresh this real quickly. And events. Here we go. Now, hopefully I can see comments. Is anybody there? Yeah, hi Eileen, hi Uetta, hi Judy. I'm glad you're here. Yay! Well, I intended to get a lot more done today than I could get done. It just seems like with the pain medications I'm taking, I don't take them and then I'm in pain, or I take them and it makes me a little drowsy. So I'm all excited to not be in the brace that I have been in for a couple of weeks, and so it's easier for me to sit at a desk. So we will see how this goes tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get after it, and if y'all have your kit and want to make the cards with me, those three of you, or some of you who are on there, Eileen and Judy, if y'all want to, or you can just watch this part as a replay, and then we'll do the rest of the cards from the online Festive and Bright kit. We're going to do that in a Zoom so that everybody can participate, and I'm just waiting for y'all to let me know what night might work for y'all this coming week that will work with for a Zoom class. So I'm excited. We are going to make these three cards, and this is from the celebration paper that's called Peaceful Prints, and I'll show you that in case some of you are watching. Celebration is for the first time happening twice this year. We have this is our second celebration for the year, and we have a product selection that you can choose when you make a $50 purchase out of the annual catalog or the holiday catalog. You get something out of this brochure for free. And then we've got a couple of items that are available for a $100 purchase. So this is one of the Peaceful Prints came with everybody who did my Festive and Brights class. You'll have this whole stack of designer series paper, and we'll be using that tonight on the three cards that I designed as part of that class. And I kind of mixed and matched a little on the stamp sets that go with it. But we are going to get started. So if y'all are available, if you have your kits available, you can make it. Otherwise, you can just watch it and then tune back in for a replay. So I'm going to get that a little bit closer, hopefully. See if we can see that, get a little closer up on the card itself. Hopefully that's good for you. There we go. So in your little kit, you'll have, or if anybody's interested in making this card, I am working on the PDF instructions. I just, again, did not quite get them finished with all the measurements. But what we're doing is making it's called a bookbinding card that opens up like this. And the bookbinding is, of course, because it kind of opens like a book with a spine here. And it's a simple little fun fold, and it is with the basic black paper, and you'll have that in your kit, or if you decide to make one, and it's just the regular 4 1/4 by 11 size, and then it's scored at 5.5 and scored at 6 3/4 if you go from this side. Or if you want to score it from the other end, that would be 4 1/4, which leaves us a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square here. And I designed the card that way because when you use designer series paper, you always want to think about the best use of the size of your paper, which this green paper starts as a 12 by 12. And so 4 by 4 would be a nice little size for those papers. It would maximize your paper that way. Okay, we're going to fold this like that. We'll use a little bone folder, get a good crisp score there. And I believe I've already pre-scored everybody's who's in the kit, who bought the kit. And we are just going to, you could use any kind of glue that you want. On this piece of paper, I could not get in here with my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and all that. So I'm just going to show you, we're going to do just the plain garden green paper. Garden green is the coordinating paper. And you should have a pretty close, this looks like it's trimmed a little, where you've got about the same border all the way around, and then I've got it right on the edge here, because you're going to have extra border here. So that's why I allowed more border on those 3 sides, if that makes sense. And on this one, if you can tell here in the camera, I used the new little evergreen folder. You could use the timber folder, you could use a wood planks, you could use anything you want, but you would actually do that first, actually texture your paper, your cardstock in the garden green first. And then I'm going to go ahead and just glue this one without the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, as I said, because it was a bit much to haul all that in here. I can't really do it on a walker, so I'm still on the walker and I need it for balance still, but I'm doing great. So if y'all ever do a knee replacement, I can tell you all about it. It is not fun for 2 weeks, and then it was like a light switch came on and all of a sudden I was better. So I'm excited to be making cards again, first time in 2 weeks. Okay, you just put your green, solid green paper there. Whoops, and we should have done, no, we're gonna go, it doesn't really matter, but you can, let's see, we're gonna get glitter a little bit everywhere. But as long as you could either do the green bow around the green part, the black bow around the green paper, or you can do it like I'm doing it, because this is going to be glued down anyway. And let's see, we're going to see if this turns out right. I usually tie it upside down, but we'll see. And I go right over left. Let me see if I can move this where y'all can see. Take the right side over the left side and then hold it down tight with your finger. And then take the left side over the right side and pull it through, holding onto it, and you pull more on the left. Pull with a bigger pull on the left. And that will give you a little bit flatter bow. I do not have my ribbon scissors in here, so we're going to do the best we can with these. And you can make it with big little wings or small wings or whatever you want to do. I think that's a little bit much, but I would say glue it down with glue the knot down with the glue dot. We're going to snip that. And sorry, if y'all are making comments, I have not seen any more. So feel free to, everybody who's tuned in, if y'all want to make a little comment, please do so. Okay, and I arranged these. I thought the trees were just darling with the little plaid on there. So I arranged them so that they were, I actually had 2 of the tree pattern. And then one each of the other patterns. And I'm just kind of laying it on here so I know kind of an even border around on those. And I put the tree one, or the one that looks like branches, right there. I kind of put the snow, the little snow right there. And then the big snow in the middle. You can see why you want to kind of dry fit this beforehand so that you kind of know exactly where to put those. We may put them a little closer together. I was leaving too much of a gap. So that seems to be pretty close. So what I'm going to do is take the bottom one and go ahead. You can use your favorite liquid glue. You can use your Stampin' Seal, whatever glue you prefer. And we'll just kind of give that a even border on the left and right, and it's a pretty tight border at the top and bottom. Now I'm going to go with this one. So at least we get those two even, and then we can make the others work in the middle. That's the easiest way I find to do it when you've got multiple pieces like this that you're trying to line up. Just try to get those two right. And then you can either do the middle one, which I think is what I'm going to try. Whoops, move that a little bit. And your pieces are double-sided, so if y'all have the kit from me, make sure, don't think you didn't get one of those or something, you'll flip it over till you get, get the right ones on the right side. Okay, now I'm just going to center this one in between the middle and the bottom piece. Easy peasy. And then the same thing with snow. And this is on the back of the trees. And so if y'all look at your trees, they kind of end up in different patterns. So pick the trees you want and then use the snowflake on the other side. If there's some kind of pattern of trees that you don't care for, flip it over and use the snow on that. Hi, Jennifer. I'm so glad you're here too. Great. Okay. Now I'm going to glue our wonderful black glimmer paper. I'm just going to glue it flat because you're going to have two layers of Stampin' Dimensionals already. So this one's just going to go flat. And again, you can use your liquid glue, glue dots, whatever you want. And I'm going to kind of dry fit this too. I wanted it to kind of come down into this section. And it kind of depends on where your trees are falling, where they happen to hit. But just make sure you've got room over here for that. And then you've got plenty of room. We're going to cut out the tree here. And we will get that stamped in a second here. Hopefully I brought my stamp set in. Okay, I think that's all we can do there. We're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and get this glue dot on with our Take a Pick tool. Hi, Uetta. Glad you like this. Hi, Cindy. Glad you like the card layout. Yeah, on this particular set of paper, I really liked just kind of putting the greens together on a card and the reds together on a card instead of mixing and matching. When I mix and match reds and greens or a couple of different colors, I like for at least one designer series paper to have both of those colors in it to make it feel more coordinated to me. So that's why I decided to stick with the greens on this one. I'm going to go ahead and glue this, and you can put glue on the ribbon, you can put glue dots on the ribbon. It's not that critical since we've got the glue dot holding this on the front. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's not going to go anywhere. So now that leaves your book binding seam. You got to let that dry if you use the liquid glue. Okay. Now I'll get my Stampin' Pierce mat. Hopefully I have that in here. Boy, if ever I needed an assistant, it would be tonight, wouldn't it? First time on the air in 2 weeks with, let's see. I may have to have some help here. I may have to text my husband. I'm sure he's gonna love that when he's in there trying to have supper. Let's see if I've maybe stuck one of these over here. Y'all may have to bear with me and while I go get a Stampin' Pierce mat. Let's see if I put it maybe up here. Alright, well, I can't text my husband because y'all are on the phone. Well, talk amongst yourselves and I will be right back. Let me go get my Stampin' Pierce mat and I will be back. Y'all just ignore moans and groans or walker sounds. I promise I'll be right back. Kind of booby trapped myself here in the room. I've got a lot going on here, so kind of making myself a fall risk. I've got the chair propped up and all kinds of stuff. Goodness gracious, I'm sure the fall prevention police would not like this area at all, but I'm being careful. Okay, I'm back. Yes, Jennifer, I agree. That black glimmer paper is really elegant and pretty with that ribbon. Okay, I have my little Pierce mat. It is not a clean one, sorry, but this is what I happen to have here. Okay, we're going to use Garden Green. That's the coordinating paper in the Peaceful Prints. And I'm using the Merry Christmas from the Perfectly Plaid stamp set, which I thought would go great with this little Peaceful Prints paper. There is a coordinating stamp set that's in the catalog that you can get that has deer on it. I just did not happen to get that one. So we're going to use the Merry Christmas out of the Perfectly Plaid set and get that stamped. I really like the Merry Christmas, this font. And you want to move it over kind of close to the left-hand side. Try to center that, stamp straight down, straight up. Try not to wiggle. There you go. Good, crisp, clean stamp. Now we'll get that cleaned off really quickly and move on to the tree itself. And the tree that I chose is from the Whimsy and Wonder set that we will be working with very soon. But if you wanted to use one of the trees from the Perfectly Plaid set, that would be cute too. One of these and use a punch. In fact, we could do that. Why don't we just do that? Well, because I don't have a piece of paper cut skinny enough. That's why we're not going to do that. Okay, but this would be really cute. We could do that as an alternative. All right, let's see what we have on the inside here. Okay, we're going to use that same tree. Okay, we're going to use, as I said, the Whimsical Trees set from the Whimsy and Wonder suite. And really, any sentiment, whatever you wanted to put on this card. This could be a winter birthday card. It wouldn't have to even be Christmas. You could do whatever stamp set you have with this. Would be lovely. And put a sentiment on the inside and the outside. I think the tree is a great addition on the front, but you wouldn't have to do a tree. Okay, we're going to do one of the Whimsical Trees. And this is our red rubber stamp. The first one we used was the photopolymer stamp. Thank you, Janice. Welcome. Glad you're here. All right, we're going to use this little tree right here. Stamp straight down, straight up. Then we're going to use the same one on this that I forgot really needs to be cut out with the die, but I will just show you how to fussy cut it really quickly. In case you don't have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you can see that you can certainly do some alternatives this way. All right, now, since this tree does not have, or the paper doesn't have any brown in it, I am actually going to choose to do a black trunk because these trees have black in them. So I'm just using my basic black marker, and I'm just going to go over the tip, that trunk, just the trunk, with the basic black. And the basic black markers you can buy individually. The rest of the Stampin' Write markers you buy in a color group. One of the 4 color groups, the basics, neutrals, regals, or subtles. So, all right, now we've got a greeting to go on the inside that is, "May the love of the season warm your heart, home, and fill your heart." That is also from the Whimsical Trees set. Or if y'all want to put, "Hoping that your busy year comes together in Christmas cheer," we could put, "May this season be wrapped in love and joy." Anybody have a preference on those? Christmas cheer, love and joy, or warm your home? What do you think? Anybody have an opinion on that one? Between these? Anybody? Okay. I'll just stick with the original then. That came with the Whimsical Trees that's new this year. And we're going to also do it in the garden green. Love your home. Okay. Great, Cindy. Thanks for your input. And Uetta, glad y'all liked the one I chose first. Okay. And I try to line this up on grid paper. On my Stampin' Pierce mat, I just have it wrapped in grid paper, and you can get the grid paper in the Stampin' Up, off of the Stampin' Up website, you can go to createwithkelley.com and go to shop, and you can just type in grid paper and it will come up. And that's a little bit smeared, but not too bad. Pain meds, I think. We could try it on the back. But it's kind of a warm, fuzzy love, right? We're not going to expect to be perfect tonight, I think. Alrighty. So this is going to go on the inside. And this one, I would say this is one of the deeper colors. When you get the really darker colors, like your Mary Merlot and some of the Evening Evergreen, the darker greens, Night of Navy, any of those, I try to let them dry just a little bit longer than normal. Before you close the card. So we'll see if I can take my own advice and do that. We're not going to run our fingers over that part. We'll just do it here. And then I'm going to use just a little bit of the Smoky Slate. I know y'all always hear me say this, but I like to ground. Woo, that's dark. That's a little too dark. Okay, I like to ground items so they're not just floating, so that tree's not just floating in the air. So I'm going to use a little light smoky slate and just do a little hill, kind of like a snowbank or something for it to sit on. Okie dokie. So we've got our inside done. I'm going to let that dry a little bit longer. And we're just going to fussy cut this tree real quickly. We do have the whimsical dies that go with the Whimsy and Wonder set. We'll die cut that out exactly where you get this, but I don't have my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in here, so we're going to fussy cut real quickly. Is everybody having a good day? Anybody doing anything fun and exciting? Anybody out there? And when you do fussy cutting, even though this tree is all uneven in branches and everything's sticking out, you just kind of go with the flow here. You don't have to have it mirror the outline exactly. And I like to leave a little bit of border around instead of going right up to it, because it's more obvious if you kind of make an oops if you get it too close. So if you've got some white space, you got a little more wiggle room that way. And I actually move the paper and use the scissors as kind of a pivot point, if that makes sense. See, I'm moving the paper around instead of chopping with the scissors like this. I move the paper and hold the scissors pretty much steady and just cut with them, but I hold them in one spot. There we go. Easy enough. And if we decide we want to cut in a little bit more on these little things here, if you're a big fussy cutter and you like to do that and have a little bit more jagged edges, you can just do a few of those. You still wouldn't have to do every one of them. And it would still give a feel of a little bit rougher outline, if that makes sense. Okay. Now we're going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals. Right here. And we'll add some to the back of the tree. Probably just add, I don't think I have my mini dimensionals in here, so I'm just going to put a little bit of the edge here at the top of the tree. That works. But I really like having both sizes, the mini dimensionals and the regular Stampin' Dimensionals, in my arsenal. All right. Now, I'm not going to put, let's see, we want to put under the Mary, we definitely want this side popped up over here. And then we're going to see where the where the tree is going to land here. Okay, so we probably need one on the bottom, one Stampin' Dimensional here. And I put it where it is not, it's kind of about the same distance from this bottom edge to that little seam, and that same distance here to here, if that makes sense. And then you want to move this a little to the left of center so that you've got room for your tree. Just kind of try to get that lined up pretty straight. And then my tree, see, I did not put a dimensional here because on this piece, because the tree has one. All right, so we're just going to do that there. And then we'll use the little holiday rhinestones. And if y'all bought a kit from me, you have a full pack of the holiday rhinestones in there. And this is not the exact same green, but it works just great. And I just put one over here. Usually kind of try to do things in 3s or 5s. And I kind of did them in a kind of in a triangle around the greeting, but also put one on top of the tree. I don't seem to have a big one left like I put on the first tree, but we're going to put one right there. And I love these self-adhesive little sequins. Rhinestone Basic Jewels, Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewels. They really have pretty colors in them, and you'll use them for a lot of things that you never even thought you would. Okay, and there's our card. That's card number 1 with the peaceful prints, and I think it looks pretty, not textured or textured. If you've got the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine that will cut these shapes out, this is from the Hippo and Friends dies. Let's see where those are, which I use those a whole heck of a lot. So if you've watched my videos, you have seen those. But that's where these shapes come from, is the Hippo and Friends. So there you go. Thanks. Glad you liked the card. We will move on to the next one. And you could use, like I said, any texture folder that is kind of woodsy would be really pretty there. Okay, next we're going to go with some of the red paper that's in that pack. Try to get some of this mess cleaned up here so you don't have to look at all this. Okie dokie. We'll get this little kit out. And I'm using that same black glimmer ribbon for this one. I'll go ahead and put those in an envelope. Get them out of the way. Okay. This is just your standard size card base also. That's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And we'll just go ahead and fold that and use a bone folder to get you a good crisp score there. So it lays flat, and if you'll do it on both, always flip it over and do both sides. That'll be great. I know this looks like Red Raider country, doesn't it? with the plaid and the red and black plaid. We are, for those of you who are not from the Lubbock area, our Texas Tech school colors are red and black, and this paper just looks like it was meant for us. And I'm going to show you a version. This one has that timber folder that's in the annual catalog, I believe. It comes with snowflakes and the branches, evergreen branches. But you could also use any other texture, or you could not use a texture. So we're just going to leave this one plain, and then go ahead and glue the basic black square to it. And I can give you that size. That is 3 1/2. Yep, 3 1/2 square. Okay. Go ahead and glue that to your 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card front. We can get our glue to come out. You can use your Stampin' Seal, your favorite liquid glue, whatever you want to use, whatever your favorite adhesive is. Try to leave kind of an even border around on these 3 sides of that, and that's just glued flat, like I said. Then we're going to I'm going to show you how I cut this out first of the Peaceful Prints paper. I'll make sure if y'all decide to do this at home that you definitely need to plan ahead so you don't waste a bunch of paper. But we have, and I think I've already cut most of mine, so on this paper, whenever you get your die out, and you could use the Hippo and Friends die, or you could use a circle if you wanted, like from the Layering Circles dies. You could, there's several different ones that would work just fine for this. I'll show you how I did this on the Hippo and Friends dies real quickly. and yours are already pre-cut if you bought the class from me. So that is this size right here, I believe. And then this is the bigger one. So I took a piece of paper like this and figured out that if I get these close enough, I can use all of these deer, okay? But if you cut straight across or up and down, you're gonna lose a lot of them. So what you do is just kind of line this up where you're thinking you're getting the maximum use. You're not cutting off your deer. And then kind of go in and trim right around where your die is going to go. Close over here to the other deer. That one you could do like that and save that snowflake. Okay? So in each of those, you'll do that and move your die around like that and just cut out one at a time. Get it to this point. Then take it to your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and cut it out. Okay? So that's the way that works. Because you've got two reverse, you've got one side is the red and black plaid and one side is the deer that coordinates with it. So you'll want to be sure and not waste a bunch of those deer. You can use one whole sheet of, on one side is the deer, and then on the other side, you'll take your larger on the Hippo and Friends, and you'll cut out, I believe this is a 4-inch square. Yes, 4-inch, make sure here. Yes, 4-inch square of the plaid, the red and black plaid. Then, so once you've cut your 4 inches on the paper, and like I said, that's a good way to cut the 12 by 12 because you'll get 3, 6, 9 out of there. You'll get 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 12. Does that make sense? So you'll have 9 pieces of this like this, and then you'll take and die cut this with your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Then you'll have these 2 pieces left. Then we're going to use this one on the inside, and it is on a card, a white card base like this. And I did make it a little bit taller than it is wide, so you be careful when you're putting it in that you get it that way, because it is definitely, it's a different size. This is 4.5 by 4 1/4. Okay, so obviously the 4 1/4 is the full width of the card. 4.5 comes up, and that way it covers the bottom of this, where I had the timber, the texture emboss folder. I let that overlap a little bit there, so that way you have about the same here and here. I just thought it added a little bit. It needed a little extra white instead of this skinny little border. So it's cut a different size that way. All right, so we're not wasting any of that paper, in other words. Okie dokie. Now we'll go ahead and pop this up with some dimensionals, and we'll do this kind of on the sides. And also make sure that if you're cutting this paper and you're going to do multiples of these cards, which I recommend, I would go ahead and like cut all your deer at the same time so that you know that you're using the right paper. All right, because one of these I had laid down and I thought, well, I cut that deer the wrong size. And then I went and cut it smaller to this, and I shouldn't have, because it was really supposed to be this. And I thought it was supposed to be the deer. It was funny. So anyway, I wasted one, because just looking at it later, I came back and I thought it was wrong, but I had initially cut it right. So just cut them all at the same time and you won't make that mistake, I bet. All right, we're keeping this very simple. And I just put the Stampin' Dimensionals on the outside of that because I'm going to have dimensionals on this that stacks on top of it. Easy, easy. Okay. And each one is going to be a little bit different. See, this one's facing in, this one's facing this way. Some of them will have snowflakes in a certain way. So if you want to pay attention to that whenever you're die cutting this out, that would be a good idea, but it doesn't have to be perfect, so we're not going to worry about it. But again, this is the Hippo and Friends dies, number 153585, and I use this a ton. And the smaller of this shape is what we're going to use for this label right here, and I've already got that cut out also. Okay. So we've got the front built. We're going to use the black glitter ribbon. And there is it's kind of one side that has the glitter on it, and then you can still see through it from the other side. So, and usually when I do a bow like this, I have to, for some reason, I usually do better if I do it upside down. So that's what we're going to try. Right over left, tighten it up there, hold it, then then left over right, and pull more with the left, and that will give you that square or more square knot. Okay, and don't worry about whether you have this exactly in the center or not. And I would use ribbon scissors, but I don't have them in here, so these seem to be working. But you can always adjust where this is. Just kind of tighten your cardstock up a little bit and move it over to where you want it. And there we have it. Okay, could be, let's see how this is. It's going to cover it up a little bit, so let's make that a little bit shorter. Over there and over here. Snip, snip. Our paper snips are just awesome. If you don't have some of these, I think they're only like $8 or something, $5, $8. They're cheap, but they last a long time. They hold their edge a long time. I like them. Okay, we're going to stamp the little sentiment, another sentiment from the Whimsical. This is another one in the Whimsical Trees set. And we're going to stamp it in the Real Red. And this paper actually shows on the pack that it has cherry cobbler and Real Red in it. So you can kind of mix and match a little bit, but this one to me is more Real Red, and that's why I chose that for this background and for this ink. Or we could use black if y'all would rather see a black version. Would you rather see this in black, or do you want to see it in red? I'll get my Real Red ink, hopefully. Let's see where that might be. Okay. I have a pile here. We may, yeah, there it is. Anybody unable to see? Oh, what is happening? Okay, good, Jennifer. Thanks for letting me know that. Let's see. See if I want to move this up a little more. Thanks for keeping me on my toes. Y'all keep reminding me, because it's hard to keep up with everything. So I appreciate your help. Okay, we're going to stamp this little greeting. And if you want to line it up straight, you can try to get it on your grid paper straight and then line it up on your block with the grids also. And then I always like to take a little practice run and just see if it's mounted the way I think it is. See, that goes up on the right. So, let me show you. Even though it looks like it's stamping straight, it goes up on the right. So I'm going to have to bring it down a little on the right. So we're going to hope for the best, since I only have one of these cut here. We're going to bring it, it goes up on the right, so we're going to pull it down a little on the right. Let's try one more time. Yep, that's better. Okay. Sorry we're having to deal with this messy little pad here. Okay, we're going to stamp it a little bit down on the right. Straight down, straight up. Woohoo! We got it. We got it. We got it. Alrighty then. Clean that off. Okay. Move that out of the way. Now I would probably just attach this ribbon. I don't think it's necessary really to attach the whole ribbon on the front, so I usually just kind of put a big old glue dot right behind that knot, and that way you're sure it doesn't show anywhere else, and that's enough to keep it from moving. Okay, then this one, I'm going to say it will be better if we, since we're kind of straddling that ribbon, I'm going to use the edge here. Kind of go with the very top and the very bottom. And we'll add this little greeting here, wishing you Christmas cheer and magical moments that last all year. Isn't that a sweet sentiment? Love that. I love that whole Whimsical Trees. Whimsy and Wonder Sweet is just awesome. Okay, now these are cherry cobbler, but I think they work. These are the ones that come in your holiday rhinestone jewels. We also have some rhinestones that are the real red, so you could use whichever one you want. And I just put one big one down here with the greeting. And then one, I couldn't resist putting one as Rudolph's nose. If y'all think that's a little jicky, then just put them offset. It would be just perfectly fine. I just couldn't resist. And if y'all wanted to add antlers, you could. You could probably use the sprig punch, or there is one in the... There is a punch and deer in the holiday catalog that coordinate with this celebration set also. Okay, then on the inside, all I did was stamp Joy, I believe. And I guess we'll go ahead and take this off and stamp the Joy in real red. I'm going to go ahead and glue this to that. And this is kind of our off-cut piece of paper, as we said before, where you're not wasting anything. And right this minute, it doesn't matter which one is up and which one is down. You're just going to have, you're going to figure it out real quickly because your borders on the right and left are skinnier, and the white is wider on the top and bottom. So that's going to go inside here. And I would just make this even where the red is even here and here. And hopefully, since I did that, I said I was going to stamp Joy first, so I'd have a do-over side, and then I didn't do it. So cross your fingers. Hold your breath. We're going to get our little Stampin' Pierce mat out again. Make sure y'all can see this. Let's stamp this and see if we've got this the way we want it. Whoops, kind of down on the left. Okay. Move that over to the right a little more. Alrighty. Make sure y'all are able to see this. And I just thought a simple Joy was kind of nice on there. If you wanted any other, if you wanted to do snowflakes or something to coordinate, you could certainly do that. Lots of options, lots of options. We'll get that put in there, get this out of the way. And this, like I said, goes left to right. It goes about even all the way across the card. And now you've used the full Monty. Y'all remember that movie? That was a funny one, wasn't it? Okay, so there's that card, and you can see how cute it is whether you use the texture folder on the background or not. You could use different texture folders, and you're going to have, each deer is going to look a little different based on where it falls on the piece of paper. So there's that card. Hope you like that. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Jennifer and Uetta. Thank you. Okay, last one of the Peaceful Prints set is with the Festive and Bright greetings. I used the Festive and Bright set that those of you who bought the class from me, you'll have this greeting for sure, but you could use any Christmas greeting that fits in that area. And I also gave y'all an extra piece of white. I thought we would try that on this one and see if we might. Ooh, no, we're not going to try it on this one because I don't have it die cut already. So, but y'all could die cut a circle, punch a circle, or anything on there if you wanted to do this on white instead of the Festive and Bright, or we could just make it a little square. We could do that. We'll just see how it goes with the black on the red, and if we don't get it properly stamped, then we'll cover it up with the white. How about that? But this little card, I haven't made one of these in quite some time, and I think they're quite cute the way they just open up like this. And I haven't finished the inside of this. I just discovered. We'll figure out what we want to do on the inside, but that's an easy one. But when I make these, I always make it where the left side goes in first, then the top, then the right, then the bottom tucks under, like that. Tucks in. There you go. Isn't that cute? And it still fits in a regular envelope. If you do the clear envelopes, then you can fold it over when you seal it. Or you can just put it in a regular white envelope. Whoops. But you can see here that if you wanted to do this way, you could seal it like that and mail it as a square, because you're going to pay extra postage for the clear envelope anyway. So if you wanted to do it like that in a clear, you could. Or if you just want to put it in the regular size white medium envelope, it'll be fine in there. It doesn't go the whole way, but that's okay. It works in the regular traditional size envelope. So whichever way you want to do that is great. Alrighty, now to make this one is 8-inch square. Yep, it's 8-inch square, and then I have scored it at 2 inches and 6 inches, or 2 inches from each side. So you'll go in, you'll put it on your scoreboard, your scoring tool, whichever way, whether it's your Stampin' Trimmer or your separate scoring tool. Just go in 2 inches and then go over from this side 2 inches, or go 2 and 6, because you've got 8 total. Then you're going to turn it, score, score, turn it, score, score, turn it, score, score, and then you'll have this. Okay, now what we'll do is we're going to end up with this shape. So you can see how we did that. All we have to do is cut these corners out. Okay? So you'll cut on this score line, and you can do this with your trimmer or your scissors, either one. Just follow along those score lines. And you thought this was going to be a tough, fun fold, right? And it's not tricky at all. It's easy and fun. Alrighty, so then you can use these on a different card a little later. We'll take our bone folder and fold these edges in. And I'm just folding each one in and out. Then I'm going to flip it over to the back, do the same thing. Do one at a time. Unfold, fold again. Unfold, fold again. Unfold, fold again. All right, so I think we've done that. Now, we're going to do the left side first. See, that's a little crooked. So we're going to try to straighten this up right here. Fix our fold. Probably just happened when I use the scissors instead of the trimmer to cut those corners out. But you want to do this and make sure it's pretty close to meeting. It doesn't have to be exact. Make sure it folds properly before you add all that other paper into it. Okay, so it's kind of like a prototype. Make sure that works. And I've got a little bit too much of an edge up here that's sticking off, so I'm going to go from the back and trim that off a little bit. Again, that's just because we trimmed that part with scissors and not with a trimmer. Okay. Oops. It does look like a present. Yes, Jennifer. I think that's cute. This would be cute to add a little gift card inside too. Okay, if we're going to do it just like this one, which I kind of like, we're going to, let's just go ahead and see how we do with the Festive and Bright greetings. With the Memento ink on the stamp in Memento. And I'm going to use the Festive and Bright, like I said, from that stamp set. Right here. This is the one we're going to use. That Festive and Bright is together, and then the greetings is separate. So if you were doing multiples of these, I would definitely use the Stamparatus. Get it set up on the Stamparatus. And even with one, probably, I would recommend that. Just because it's hard to get the black really, really solid. But since I don't have it in here at the moment, we're going to go with this and hope I can get that dark enough. If I can find my Memento. We may have to go to Plan B. Here it is. Okay. All right. Make sure I'm in y'all's sights here. Okay. This is going to go right here, Festive and Bright, and I'm leaving room for greetings right underneath. Straight down, and since it's regular cardstock and not the basic white that really soaks it up properly, I think the other cardstock that's already dyed just somehow doesn't take the color quite as well. So I like to leave it on a little bit longer. Festive and Bright. Then we're going to clean that and add greetings, just because I thought that sounded better than just the Festive and Bright itself. I kind of liked having the word greetings. So we'll add that. I could use a smaller block, but I'm not taking time to do much extra, so I'm just trying to show y'all this quickly so that we don't take all night. Let's see what time it is. Oh, okay, it's just been an hour. We're doing pretty well. Let's see, and I'm going to line up the greetings on the right-hand side, and with the photopolymer, it's easy to do that. We're going to use even pressure, Just straight down, use some pressure, leave it there, let it soak up. There we go, Festive and Bright Greetings, it is. Okay, that's with the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And that's all we have on there. Then we're going to use our Snowflake, and if y'all would rather use the plaid, you can use just the plaid side. I kind of like the plaid with the snowflakes myself, but you can do whatever you want. Y'all can play with the paper and see if you want to mix it up a different way, but I would recommend kind of getting it like you want it to be before you start gluing. And put this one on here, and then the diagonal stripe. So you could use the back that's kind of like birch. You could plan to use that one instead if you wanted. And I'm just kind of leaving an even border all the way around on these. Easy, easy. Each of these pieces are 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, then at the top we've got the deer, or you could use the plaid. Just kind of play with it and see what you like, because you'll have plenty of this paper in a whole stack. You get a whole stack of 12 sheets of these papers, so you could make a lot of all these cards. You could make a lot of Christmas cards with this one stack of paper that you earned for free with a $50 purchase. Isn't that fun? Love me some free. How about y'all? Okay, we've got Festive and Bright Greetings on the outside. If you had the coordinating deer stamp set for the inside, that would be awesome. Or if you want to just use a, let's see what else we have. Do we just want to use... what do we want to use? We might. What do you think about this? Y'all like that for the inside? We could stamp that in black and then color in some of the red in Crumb Cake, or we could stamp it in Crumb Cake and just color the red. What do you think of that? What do you like? What do you like? Y'all like that, or do you want a tree? See what you think, and then we'll get finished up. Judy likes that. Okay. All right, let's try that, see what we think. We'll get the Festive and Bright Greetings back in its spot. Okay, again, the Festive and Bright are from this Festive and Bright photopolymer stamp set. And I have just started using the thick piece of the thick photopolymer here and sticking the little stamps into the actual case. That's kind of the way they're designed now. And I'm saving this one. I don't know why. I'm a hoarder, I guess. But I may find a use for that later, so I'm not throwing it away. I'm just putting it in there. Oh, goodness. Okay. I think I'm just going to try Crumb Cake on that. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I want... What do y'all think? Do you want to stamp it in Crumb Cake, or do you want to stamp it in black and use a Crumb Cake and real red markers to fill in the ornaments? Let's see what I have here. I've got a red ornament. I think I'll use the blends. Let's see if I can get to my blends. Oh. cake. Hope y'all can't see this. Hope I'm not on camera here. Believe me, you don't want to see this. My little workout shorts that I have on because I went to physical therapy this morning. Which they certainly do give you a workout. I think that's great. Okay. We will color in the ornaments. All right, I guess since our greeting is in black on the front, we'll go ahead and stamp them in Memento and then color in with both colors. And the ornaments are also from the Whimsy and Wonder Suite. And I've not stamped with these yet, so I'm gonna give them a try, see how they come out. Okay, needed a little priming there. Okay, I think we will move this up, and just to make sure it gets coated really well, I'm gonna flip it over like this, make sure y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay. Sorry, I've got a mess here. Oops. That's right, left. Tuck in the bottom. Okay. So, we just need the Crumb Cake pins. We're going to use the blends. Well, did I stamp the Memento? Did I just get that ready and didn't stamp it? I guess I did. Okay. Gotta love paint meds, right? Just kidding. Just kidding. Okie dokie. We're gonna stamp that. I'm gonna hang those down from the top. Straight down. Give it a little pressure, let it soak in good. There we go. I'll do the same thing on this one while we're at it. And especially with Memento, I really like to turn on the red rubber stamps just to make sure you've got it coated really well. Flip them over and take the stamp pad to the stamp rather than vice versa. Okay. Get that. There we go. Easy peasy. Now we just like a little coloring and we will be done with 3 cards. How about that? Let's use a little of the light Crumb Cake. Let's see. I definitely want... We'll kind of do these opposite so you can kind of see the difference. So I'm going to do red on that one. I'm going to do red this way on this one. Okay. That's good. I'll get a piece of paper here. Instead of this messy pad, we'll just do this so y'all can see a little better. And remember that blends will bleed through, so be careful as you work. All right, this one is going to be Crumb Cake. And you could do a different top and bottom if you wanted. We're going to use the... Woo! My blend came apart. I have it cracked. How did I crack it? I guess I put it on too tight. Too tightly. So we'll just go with the brighter here. That is quite a bit brighter. Woo! Okay. We'll go a little bit of the darker red around here. Okay. And now, let's do red at the bottom on this one. We'll just do the dark red on that and use the light. I think we'll leave that, do that all dark. Whoops, I didn't mean to do both of those dark. Wasn't really thinking properly. Okay. And I'm just sticking to the colors that were on the inside with the crumb cake and the reds. That's the dark crumb cake. And this is the light. We're going to blend that in a little better, since these are blends after all. Okay. I think I'm going to do this one with the light crumb cake. We'll see if we like these with the mixed colors, and then I will let y'all go to bed. I appreciate y'all sticking with me here. Kind of fun to play with, right? Okay, we'll use this other end. We'll use the brush tip. Okay. Now we've got the dark crumb cake here. And the light. Kind of forget y'all are there when I get to playing with colors. How fun. I can't wait to play with my Whimsy and Wonder suite now that I'm feeling more up to it. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have lots of fun. Okay. Y'all like the more red or the more crumb cake one? Left or right? Or neither? We'll just put one in one and one in the other. And do we want a little greeting on the inside, or do we want to just leave it like this? Since we have festive and bright greetings on the outside, I think we could go with just the ornaments here and leave us room if we want to write a message or write a... Okay, whoops. Janice, I think I moved them. I'm not sure if I think these were on the right. Correct, Janice? You're saying this one on the right? Is that the one I originally had on the right? I think it is. I think my left was red. I'm going with that. Thanks, Janice. And if I owe any of y'all catalogs, please forgive me. I'm finally, I had to order some more and got them in right before my surgery. And whew, I'm just now getting to where I am feeling like I'm back to normal enough to where I can handle this. And so I will be getting those ready to mail out or pick up soon. If anybody needs a holiday card, a holiday catalog or a celebration catalog, please let me know. And I would be glad to get you one. Okay, I've got to blend that just a teeny bit more and then I give up. Just got to take that light in there. Get that blended a little bit better and a tad bit more red. Okay, there we go. We have completed, okay, whoops, nope, we got to have couple of little decorative jewels to go. And then we are good to go. Thank y'all so much for sticking with me. Hope you've had fun with this. I just can't believe that we get this whole stack of paper for free with the purchase out of the catalog. I just think that's a great time of year to do this. And there's also a special, if anybody's interested in joining Stampin' Up to get a discount or to become a business builder. I'll be glad to work with you either way. Would love to help you with that. And during celebration is a great time to do that too. They have an extra special where you get to choose from some bundles in addition to the paying $99 for your starter kit and getting to choose everything in your starter kit. And then also you get the extra little bundle to go along with it. How fun. Okay, so those are the Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewels. And these are our cards from tonight. This one. Which one is your favorite? Do y'all like the green? Do you like the deer or the square card? Which one's your favorite? Thanks again for tuning in, peeps. I'm so glad you're part of the Create with Kelley crew. If you need help with an order of any kind, I'll be glad to help you with that. And like I said, I'm back among the land of living, I think. I can starting to be able to keep up. So y'all holler at me and let me know how I can help serve you as your demonstrator. Green, deer. Okay, good. We've kind of got a mix. That's good. Let's see. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. I appreciate you. And hopefully next week we'll be back where I'll get to show you my face and talk to you a little bit in my space, and then we'll figure out what we're doing, and I'll let you know a little earlier this time. I just wanted to make sure I was ready for this one. So thanks again for being part of the Create with Kelley crew. Have a wonderful evening, and be sure and tune in for more classes and everything coming up soon. Fun times ahead. Thanks again. Bye-bye.